Yeah, so non-sleep deep rest, NSDR, is an acronym that I coined because it encompasses a lot of practices that are not meditation per se, but that bring the brain and body into a state of relaxation and focus. So hypnosis is one variant of NSDR. There are other variants of NSDR. You can just look these up and you'll find them. And I think that they've caught on, and that the CEO of Google is an avid practitioner of NSDR, because it has this amazing ability to reset your energy levels and focus. Whereas with meditation, many people find meditation hard. And part of the reason they find it hard is that it requires focus. NSDR is a state which is very calm and relaxing. You don't have to work too hard. You're just listening to a script. Whereas most forms of meditation, not all, but most forms of meditation involve cranking up the activity in your prefrontal cortex and trying to see your thoughts as opposed to thinking your thoughts, or focus on your breath, but then third personing yourself in some respect. And that's work. And so many people who meditate quite intensely feel more exhausted. Now, that doesn't mean that meditation doesn't have any utility, but it's distinctly different than NSDR. And I think that people are working, certainly the CEO of Google, I have to imagine, is working very hard and using his forebrain. If he's going to have 20 or 30 minutes to take a break, he should, and I think this is what he's doing, he should go out for a jog and not listen to anything and just kind of let his mind wander, or sit there in a chair and just zone out, or do NSDR. The problem is people are not that good at shifting states. We are all actually pretty good at, even people with severe ADHD, we had an episode about this, can become hyper-focused on things that they actually enjoy. Because and most of the drugs designed to treat ADHD are drugs that increase the levels of dopamine. So when you like something, there's dopamine release and you can focus. It's when you don't like something that's hard to focus. Shifting states is hard. I'm sure you've experienced this if you've ever been in deep research or podcasting, and then all of a sudden you go for a run, you probably spend the first third of that run thinking. And then in the middle third, you're kind of, that thinking is fractured a bit. And then in the final third is where you finally get to relax, because the brain doesn't shift states very quickly. We can go from sleep to wakefulness quickly. We can go from wakefulness to sleep quickly, but we don't shift between different states of consciousness like a step function, except in rare cases, right? Fear is one. All of a sudden we hear an explosion right now. It's a step function. We're in fear, or we're in alertness, right? A heightened state of alertness. But NSDR is terrific at allowing people to learn to shift their state. And I actually would venture to argue that part of the value of meditation and exercise is the actual state that you get into in deep meditation or exercise. But just as valuable is the transition that you have to take yourself through from one state of mind to the other and then back again. When I look, David Goggins, he always seems to come up, but because he represents so many important things: drive, determination, override of emotional state, going from being a 300-pound plus person to a fit person through. He's never revealed anything substantial about what he ate or what he didn't eat. He basically says, like, listen, run a lot, eat less, right? Yeah. But what's remarkable is so much of what he says is about those transitions, about taking oneself from a state of, I don't want to scruffing oneself and like you're going to do it anyway. And then being able to carry that into regular life, so to speak. So I think that NSDR is immensely powerful. It's zero cost. And one of the reasons I'm such a fan of people doing it is that most people don't stick to a meditation practice. There have also been a few cases, you might find this interesting. There's a book by Scott Carney. I forget what it's called. I think it's called The Transcendence Trap or something. I'm going to have that title wrong, but there have been a fair number of cases of people that go and do very extensive meditation, silent meditation retreats, who then return to normal life and end up killing themselves. There are states of mind inside of extended meditations or silent meditations that are very beneficial. And I'm certainly not suggesting people don't meditate, but I know at least one person who came back from one of these long extended meditation retreats and wasn't able to shift their state back into one that was functional in regular life. And that book includes a very dramatic story. I don't want to give it away in case people check out the book, but Scott told the story to me directly once, where someone feels they've reached enlightenment and then commit suicide. So these very unusual brain states are potentially hazardous if people can't return from them.
So it's nice to focus not on those brain states, but instead on the shifting.
Right. I do. This morning I woke up a little bit earlier than I would have liked. I use this Reverie app that's research-backed, REVERI.com. there's a free version of it, or you can try it for free. So I feel
That's for
comfortable
hypnosis?
for hypnosis. And I do a self-hypnosis to put me back into sleep. And if I can't sleep, to just put me into a state of deep relaxation. I would put hypnosis under the category of NSDR, yoga nidra under the category of NSDR. There are now some NSDR scripts online if you just go to YouTube that you can just listen to. And
Do you like those?
I do. Yeah, I think the one from Made For is quite good. I have an affiliation with them, but it's free, so I feel comfortable mentioning it. I do. I really like the Reverie app. I can the more you do them, the more quickly you can shift your brain into a state of deep relaxation. I will sometimes stop mid podcast if it's sometimes our recordings go 7-8 hours, and I'll stop and I'll do a 1-minute hypnosis. They have 1-minute hypnosis inside Reverie. You're only going to find that 1-minute hypnosis is effective if you are routinely doing 10 and 15-minute hypnosis in addition to that. Yeah. Meaning I do it every other day or so, a 10 or 15 minute.
So is there a YouTube 1-minute hypnosis, or is this for the
There are, but inside of Reverie as well. You can find them online. A really good
Pull it up, Sergey, please.
Yeah, so Reverie's good. And then Michael Sealey, Sealey, he has some long hypnosis scripts. But again, these are all free, and there's a lot of good research now on the neural networks, and it shifts your so-called default mode network. It shifts how much of your forebrain you're using. And it also is very, very good at, I get so many questions about, hey, I'm really upset. I found out about my girlfriend's sexual past, or hey, I'm so upset. I found out that my boyfriend was cheating, or oh, so-and-so died. How do I get over these emotions? How do I deal with them? And hypnosis has shown to be very useful for people to learn to bring themselves into a state of deep relaxation, to literally project in their mind's eye these very intense things that they don't like. And then for people to associate with other emotions in their body, to learn to be calm while feeling your feelings, to dissociate the mind-body communication to some extent.
Just observe the feelings.
Observe them and start to associate them with positive experiences. You're an Android guy, so soon it should be available on Android.
And then it doesn't exist for me.
Yeah, I know.
It's only,
I don't get
Android is the device of the people, all you elitist people with your iPhones.
Okay, but tell me this about Android. Now you want to, this is the one thing that gets me.
Yeah.
Because I'm very close to someone who uses an Android phone. I feel like that.
So you have great people in your life. That's good to know.
No, the messages always look green to me, but I answer yours, not despite that. But I feel like the Android phones are very trigger happy. Like anything I touch does something, whereas the Apple phone is kind of built for like a macaque monkey to be able to operate, which is great for me because I'm more of a macaque monkey and you're a more sophisticated ape.
Oh, I see.
I feel like that. I think like you have to be.
They're more sensitive. You have to
have. I've got fat fingers. I've got clumsy fingers.
And the Android is too. Well, maybe you need to soften your touch.
What I would do is go into the sort by most popular, because there's some older ones that I really like, and it generally scales with that. So I'll do this one, the hypnosis for clearing subconscious negativity. That's an hour-long one. The sleep and anxiety one, 40 minutes. But those you listen to as you fall asleep.
As you fall asleep.
Oh, we're going to do this now?
Yeah, let's listen to it.
And I have created this hypnosis recording for you to help you.
And this is the voice. How often does the voice pop up?
And at the same time,
you don't watch it.
You just listen to your anxiety. Now, one of the most important things to remember at the outset of any self-hypnosis experience is to know and understand that hypnosis.
People really should know that stage hypnosis is about the hypnotist getting you to do things you wouldn't normally do. Mm-hmm. Self-hypnosis, which is what we're talking about here, Reverie in this, is about you getting your brain into the state that you want. And again, there's a ton of neuroimaging data and work on trauma and pain relief, and our labs are working on this with David Spiegel's lab. I really encourage people to explore NSDR, and if this feels a little too wacky and out there, then I would just put in NSDR into YouTube, and there's some good NSDR scripts.